Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, welcome back to Blitzburg Squad. I'm Wesley Seeley, joined alongside Shane Smith. Thanks for joining us as we dive into the Week 14 matchup between the Steelers and the Bills. Sunday night football game, primetime. Steelers need a big bounce-back game here against a very good opponent.
Yes. Is this considered our first primetime game of the year? Because I know it was supposed to be the Ravens.
Yeah, you might be right. Oh, no, we played Week 1, primetime.
Oh, that was Monday night, yeah.
Yeah. This one's a better primetime matchup.
Yes, it is. I mean, we still didn't play great that game, but that was Week 1. So
yeah.
We're now Week 14, got our first loss. Looking to come back. Hopefully Randy Fiechner's fired. Fire Fiechner.
Fire Fiechner. Hashtag Fire Fiechner. It's not trending yet. What the heck?
Yeah, I see everybody in comments. I mean, so we must have a lot more people watching than we think that say Fiechner needs to go, but
Fiechner sucks.
hashtag Fire Fiechner's not going. So
it should by now. Fire Fiechner.
No, we know that the Steelers aren't going to do that as much as we'd love them to.
I know they won't.
But yeah, so our second primetime game then, first Sunday night game, should be good. Should be hopefully exciting.
Yeah, it should. I hope we pulled up the weather conditions before we jumped on here. It's like 20-mile-per-hour winds, 39, 40 degrees, I think. So
that's great when you're not sure if you're having your starting kicker and you got a punter in Jordan Berry.
Right. You got Matthew Wright back there. Can't even be trusted to kick a 45 with whatever the flipping weather conditions were in Pittsburgh that night.
Probably not 20.
Probably not 20 mile per hour. So, ugh. That's a little nervous.
Maybe the wind will always be at his back, and he might be able to drill the
True.
45.
Maybe it's going with the field there. So I guess let's dive into the offense to start things off. Man,
Catch the ball.
yeah. I mean, let's start with the wide receivers because that is definitely. I know there's a lot of weaknesses on our offense right now that need fixed. Biggest one I would say is people need to start catching the ball. I think I saw we're now leading the league with drop passes.
31.
Deontay has 6, I think, and Ebron has 4 within the past, 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Deontay is leading the league with at least 9.
Man.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all of the drills that they can do for wideouts. I know they do their distraction drills and everything like that, but it's not even so much that. They're dropping the wide open ones.
Uh-huh.
We always just joke about the jugs machine, but literally just have them do the jugs machine and catch an extra 100 passes after each practice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I seen people saying, well, I know Ben needs time off, but Ben needs to be throwing them the ball more. That's the only way they're going to catch it. And I was like, no, they should know how Ben throws the ball and how hard he throws the ball.
In practice is what they're saying he should throw
and
more?
Ben's not going to throw it hard in practice. He's taking it easy more than likely. Get a jugs machine, crank the thing up to 100 mile an hour, and make them catch the balls when they're harder than Ben's throws. And make the balls super cold or hard or however you have to.
Yeah. Even give them I don't know, even spray their gloves with water or something too. You know what I mean? Just get them wet gloves, everything. All conditions, all considerations. I don't care what it is. We've got to figure out a way to catch the ball, though, because it's just drive killers.
Well, Tomlin's already said if you can't catch the ball, you're not going to play. So
he'll get somebody that can.
Yeah, he'll get somebody that can. So to me, that immediately puts Chase Claypool. I almost said Chase Young. Yeah, he's going to come over and be our wide receiver.
Too soon.
Chase Claypool and James Washington might be vaulted up to number 1 and 2 if this keeps up.
You know what I'm interested to see, though, because after his statement there, is it 1 drop? Is it 2 drops? Is it 3? When's he going to actually say, okay, let's pull Deontay, let's pull Chase? Whoever's dropping it, is it just going to be 1 drop? And then he's like, okay, I'm tired of this bull crap. You're in.
I think it depends on the person. I think if it's Deontay, I'd give him 1. Because he's just consistently doing it. Ebron, it's him or Vance. I mean, that's all we have for a tight end.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's hard to say, all right, buddy, you've dropped it 3 times this game, you're out. Because then it's
do you give Ebron a little bit more leeway because of not as much depth?
Right.
The hard thing is though, you want them to catch it because you don't want to pull them off the field because Deontay is our best route runner. He's our most dynamic probably our most dynamic wide receiver because he can just do a little bit of everything. And Ebron is the go up and get it kind of guy, unlike Vance. So it's like you're not going to be able to replace those guys if you do have to pull them, but you have to do it if they're not going to be able to catch the ball.
Here's where I wonder if people aren't going to start catching the ball, instead of us running 4 wide or even 3 wide receivers, do we start running a 2 wide receiver set, put Derek Watt in, put Vance, put an extra lineman in, and then we start getting back to Steeler football and start saying, James Conner,
run the rock.
We're going to run this I formation and just pound it. I mean, just hammer people and tire them out, and then we'll throw in a third wide receiver and see if that opens anything up. So I'd be interested to see that because we only have 5 active wide receivers, and you have.
Sounds right.
I mean, Juju doesn't drop it a lot, but Juju's dropped it. Deontay drops it a lot. Chase and James have done pretty well, but I also wouldn't trust Ray. So that realistically puts you with Juju, James, and Chase.
Yeah.
So that's a 3 wide receiver set, and the other 2 guys are sitting, and possibly Ebron sitting. So, it'll be interesting if Tomlin was just making a false threat or if he was being serious, and to see how the team responds.
I hope he sticks by it though, and I hope he doesn't let it go on for too long. If they do, I hope they don't. But if they do carry that into this week too, they start dropping it. I hope it's 1 drop and you're out. Like you've got to make a statement here and just let them know, hey, we're not gonna keep this ugly streak going.
Right.
We're gonna start catching the ball, or I'm gonna put in people that can.
Right. And it's different if it's contested, but if it's a lollipop drop in or
like most of them have been, honestly,
3 to 4 yard slant wide open, and you drop it, it goes literally right through your hands, and it's not Ben throwing it 3 yards above you or behind you or something like that. No excuse. No excuse. You get paid millions of dollars to do this.
Totally. Yep.
So
I agree with you there. For the running game, we do get James Conner back this game.
We do.
And we should get Marquise back this game. I haven't heard.
Yes. Well, as long as he doesn't show any extra symptoms or whatnot, I think we'll get him back.
I'm hoping we get him back in the mix, too.
Yes.
J.C. Hassenauer has played okay. I think it would be a step up, obviously getting Pouncey back in the mix.
For sure.
And also getting Conner back in the mix, in my opinion. But
is that going to change anything? I have no idea. Because it really depends on the Steelers. Are they still going to say, well, all right, people have figured out our short passes, and that's the way we're running the ball, so let's keep up with the short passes. Maybe that'll work out again. Or are they going to say, okay, these short passes, people are learning how to block them. Chase Young even said it after the game that we learned from the Ravens how to do this.
Yeah.
Ben's going to have to throw more medium passes, and we're going to have to run the ball like a normal stinking team.
Yep.
So it's yet to be seen, and it's really going to depend on what Fiechner, Ben, and hopefully Matt Canada figure out. Because I would assume he should be coming off the COVID list and being back in the mix of saying, like, Fiechner, you're an idiot. Please do it this way. Like
Fire Fiechner.
Fire Fiechner.
Yeah, I guess to the point of, or like you had said about the passing game, that kind of depends on what will happen with the running game. Is I also hope that they do get away from these short passes. I mean, we've said for a couple weeks now, we've kind of seen it just slowly start to be hurting us, and then finally this Washington game, 6 or 7 batted passes in this game.
Oh, something like that.
It was ridiculous. I mean, and you can see on some of the plays, watching the highlights over again, you can see on some of the plays, it was a little drag route to, I think, Deontay, and the guy was up close to him to the line. He runs the drag route, and he's on him the whole time. He didn't pull back thinking he was going to go intermediate, medium, or deep. He knew he was going to go short. So it's already, like, people are going to be stacking the box because of those short passes. That's why you can't run it. Well, one of many reasons.
Right.
And I cannot stand these little short dink and dunk passes. I mean, it was working for us, but now teams are starting to catch on. We've got to change that up a little bit. I'm okay mixing it in, but don't do it every single flip and play.
Yeah, I'm okay doing it sometimes, but no. It honestly looks like through his statistics, his best production for Ben comes between 10 and 19 yards down the field, and we're not doing it a whole lot. I want to see more of that.
Yep.
And I think we would have more success doing that. And honestly, our game plan where we first play went deep, I was perfectly fine with that.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I think Ben should have waited a little bit longer, like given an extra second or two to see what developed. Just because we know he has the arm strength to push it down the field.
Yeah.
Maybe not what he used to have or whatnot, especially when you throw it, I don't know, seemingly 3 million times a game. But, you know, he still has an arm, and he can still do his things. He showed us glimpses of that. It's just they're like, no, we don't want you to get sacked, so literally drop throw. Like,
yeah.
That's what it is. And I've wondered, because I listened to other podcasts and things like that, and a lot of them have said, like, is Ben doing that because he doesn't trust his line, because they can't hold their blocks, and because we know they can't run block. I mean, that's been proven time and time again. But do people think that Ben's getting it out 2.5 seconds or under because he's like, okay, I got to pick it and throw it because my offensive line can't block? And it's like, if Ben has that in his mind, then we need to change something. Put Filer back out to right tackle. Put Dotson in, you know.
Yep.
Get rid of Okafor because he got bowled over last week.
He was getting bullied, wasn't he?
He was.
Jeez.
Was it Kerrigan that absolutely
that one play
handled him?
Knocked him on his butt.
Like, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
So it's just something where we know we can do more, and it's just a matter of, are the Steelers going to actually do the changes that they say they're going to?
Yeah.
As of right now, I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean,
they have to show me consistently before I'm going to believe them.
Yeah, and they've got to know at this point, and especially after last game, seeing how their game plan was implemented, they've got to know they've got to do something different. Right. I would hope they would see they've got to get the running game going, no matter if it's let's chuck it down deep and medium passes, get the everybody stacking the box, get them back off the line so we can start running the ball. I don't know, maybe bring in Dotson, like you said. I don't care what it is. Let's just get a little bit more balance on the offense and a little bit something going, because offense just hasn't looked good in a couple weeks. And I hope it changes for the Bills, because this is a worse defense than we played with the Washington football team.
The football team and the Ravens.
Yeah, good point.
Because the Ravens were out a lot of their front four, but they still had their DBs.
Yeah.
And their DBs, honestly, is what keeps the Ravens' defense as good as it is. So you're right. Their defense is definitely worse. Now they have White and they have Tremaine Edmunds, because we have the other two brothers. Which, by the way, people, please do not name your kids with all of the same initials. Like, this is not just on them. Trey, Terrell, Tremaine. How is people supposed to be able to remember to do that? Like, my dad, his mom, and that. They had 7 kids. All of them begin with the letter K. What is wrong with people? Come on. Like, how am I supposed to remember that kind of stuff? Like, that was my small rant. But anyway, so, but like White and Tremaine Edmunds is probably their best 2 players. I don't know if Josh Norman's playing the slot or if he's playing the other outside. But I know he's in there, but he's definitely a shell of what he was when he was in his prime. DBs are pretty good, but they make mistakes in that. They're better than Terrell, but worse than Minka. So their DBs might be about what we are.
Yeah.
Their front is kind of where I see their biggest weakness. They just haven't got the push in that they need, which could be a benefit for us. But we know that our offensive line doesn't get a push. So I would hope to see us change and show, like, okay, if your defense has any sort of weakness, we're going to target it, and we're going to find ways to target it. But, again, until you show me that, I can't believe you.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. They've got Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, I think, back as their safeties, Tre'Davious White, and maybe Josh Norman as their other starter, like you said. Tremaine and I don't know a whole lot others. So.
I don't know anybody else.
But I hope this is the game. If we do want to try to get back into the running game, this might be the game to do it, because I feel like we said that against
many teams.
Yeah, and it just doesn't happen. So
maybe now that we lost.
Yeah.
Like,
wake-up call.
Everybody's been woken up. Everybody's been humbled and not as cocky. I haven't seen as much stuff on social media. It seems to be a good week.
Yep.
Like, I understand people want to have fun, but at the same time, you're there to do a job and you get paid millions of dollars to do it. Just do the job.
Yeah,
like,
and any given Sunday. I mean, it just goes to show you. So, but offense needs to change something this game for sure.
They do.
We need a resurgence for our offense here. Okay, so a little bit about the defense.
Yeah, after down in the dumps, let's go to a positive.
Let's go to the positive note here.
Although, is it really positive? Because we're down Bud, we're down Devin.
Good point.
So those already kind of stink, but this will be our second game without Bud. Devin, it seems like forever since we haven't had him. We're probably down Spillane this game.
Most likely down Spillane.
Not gone for the season, but they said he will miss some time.
Yeah.
So Avery Williamson will come in, which is good, but I don't know. I'm curious to see who gets the green dot. Is it going to be Williams or is it going to be Williamson?
It's got to be Vince, right? Because, I mean, Williamson's been there for
not that long,
3 or 4 weeks.
But who's better in coverage? That's probably who you're going to give the green dot to. And Williamson is a vet as well.
Yeah, true. I just don't know if he would know the game plan enough at this point.
Right. Probably not.
And I would probably trust Williamson more in coverage.
Yes.
So I'd want him out there probably more than Vince. But Vince probably knows the...
Because if you put Vince Williams on a freaking wide receiver or a running back...
I can see it now. Him on Devin Singletary.
Or Knox.
Or, oh, yeah.
Is it Dawson Knox?
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
I will...
Or how about Cole Beasley? That would be the one.
It would be, too.
Some shifty little dude.
Because he's a slot guy.
Yeah.
I will literally turn off the game. I won't finish the game, and when I come to the podcast, I will look up the final score at that podcast if they do that. I will be ticked. Like, man, I can see the negatives happening now. Man, I thought this was going to be a bump
I thought we were
up.
getting to the positive here.
Hold on. Last negative, we probably don't have Joe.
Yeah, we probably won't have Joe Hayden. It's looking like we're going to have Steven Nelson, which I'm okay with just having one of them. I think Cam Sutton will fill in okay for the other side.
Exactly, because Joe had the concussion, and it's really hard to come back within a week.
Yeah.
And he only had 6 days because they want to be very extensive. So, the NFL is doing their job now. Maybe not in the past, but now they're doing what they can. So Joe's probably out. We have Nelson back. I don't know who's better. Sometimes it's Joe, sometimes it's Steven.
Yeah.
I think Joe's the better tackler, but Steven can keep up with those faster guys.
Yeah.
So a game like this might be better because there's Stephon Diggs and
Right.
John Brown.
And is John Brown out, though? I was thinking he was out. I could be wrong.
He could be on IR.
I was thinking he was on IR.
Okay, I was going to say he's not on the injury report, but they don't put IR people on the injury report.
Yeah.
So, because he's a speedy son of a gun.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have him out.
Yeah.
No offense.
Not that you want people to be injured, but when you're thinking in the long run, it's like...
For matchups?
Matchups, that wouldn't hurt us at all. So, I mean, it could be Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley, and I would be a little bit better about that because Cole might be on the outside then.
Right.
Although, do they have a rookie wide receiver as well? I don't know. There was a deep wide receiver class, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Who'd they have? Diggs, Beasley...
Brown... I don't know who else.
Number 13, I just don't know his name.
Okay. Maybe that's a rookie. Who knows?
Don't know. Is that all we have for the injuries? Are we done with the bad news?
Oh, no, because, on defense, Chris Boswell might not play.
Oh, okay.
Nothing bad there.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Wormley, defense, illness.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay.
I doubt he'll play.
Yeah.
Because the Steelers have been like, no, if you're ill.
Yeah, which...
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
With Wormley, whatever. We have a Lualu.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. Stewart, Hayward, a Lualu out there. I'm cool with that.
Yes. So, but my biggest concern probably isn't the wide receivers. It's who throws them the ball, and that's Josh Allen. Some of it is on his passing, but a lot of it's what he can do outside of the passing. He's not as mobile as Lamar, but he is physical.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to think. Maybe Jordan Berry, Mason Rudolph. Maybe we could trade those two for Josh Allen. They'd probably bite, right?
Maybe. I mean,
Josh Allen is literally just like a sort of a Big Ben to me. Like he's a more athletic, faster Big Ben. Like he can scramble, take a hit, bigger body, big arm.
Yeah,
dude can ball.
I want to say they said he's had 8 total games this year of 300 plus yards, and 2 of them were 400 plus yards. So, I mean, he's been balling out. Stephon Diggs was literally all he needed to
light it up.
Everything.
Yeah, and this might be, may or may not be without John Brown.
Right. And so.
Which is crazy.
Because I think he had another 400 yards last week.
He probably did. He threw like 4 touchdowns or something.
So he's really taken a step up in this offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the Bills are leading their division. He definitely concerns me, and it's somebody I want us to crash the outside and keep him in the pocket. I do not want him moving.
No.
With Bud Dupree and TJ, that's more possible. TJ will block his right, so the left side of our defense. Alex Highsmith, I think he played well last game.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, is he going to take another step up?
Mm-hmm.
He played 60 defensive snaps, and you could see he was starting to get gassed. So, is his conditioning going to get better to where he can continue to maybe not get pressure, but at least block off, or make Allen go around that left tackle and not just have a straight shot to go out and up.
Yep. For sure.
So
yeah, that's going to be big. I think containing Allen. I hope they use Hilton on some blitzes too.
Right.
Because he's a speedy,
Hilton looked great last game.
Scrappy guy. You could just get in there and make some tough tackles, and
he can slip through people.
He can. Like he just slips off blocks, gets the tackle still. It's like incredible. Yeah, he had a heck of a game last week. I am nervous about Allen too because he's been putting on a show this year. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes and A-Rod, he'd be right up there in the MVP
for sure.
conversation. So he's been balling out. Diggs, I honestly think if we have Nelson in this game, I think Diggs will be held in check. But it's that Dawson, it's the Cole Beasley, it's those guys are going to get fed if that's the case. Same thing like what we did against Washington. Take out Terry McLaurin. Oh, then they got Logan Thomas and that Sims.
And those were no names.
Right.
Here's this one. The Buffalo offense reminds me a lot of, with talent-wise, the Cowboys. And I think how possibly the Cowboys would have looked if they would have had Dak.
Okay.
And so that kind of scares me. But because of that, we always come prepared against tough teams. And so I just feel like whether our offense does or not, our defense should be prepared and should be like, all right, these guys are legit. We have to play 110%. We took last week off basically. Well, not our defense. Our defense played pretty well.
Yeah.
But the team as a whole, I think, was getting a little cocky.
Yep.
So they took the week off, we'll say. And so let's get after them. One way or the other, let's get after them.
Yep. I agree. And I also think, too, last week we saw the defense played pretty well. We saw kind of towards the end of the game when Spillane went out, Williamson came in. There was a lot of more confusion, miscommunication. I think this week will help because he knows he's starting. He knows he was kind of getting into. He's getting. I don't know if he was getting. I'm sure he was getting first team reps. I would assume if he wasn't already, he definitely will be now.
Right.
And he'll be getting more game plan and everything like that. So I think just more preparation for this matchup and knowing that he's going to be a starter will help. And I think they'll be able to game plan with him better than, oh, hey, you're thrown into the game now and cover McKissick or cover Logan Thomas, whatever it is. I think it'll just be a better flow and a better matchup now. So I think you're right, though. I think we'll be prepared to play. Defense won't have a problem. It's all about the offensive game plan, though. And hopefully that doesn't hurt our defense like it did in this last matchup.
Right.
So
offensive game plan and special teams.
Yep. Special teams.
Speaking of special teams, as I said, maybe no Boswell, so that gives us Matthew Wright again.
Which is so scary.
So that means, like, what's our max field goal range? Like 40?
40, maybe.
Maybe.
And that depends on the wind.
I'd like to say I could kick a 40-yard field goal, but there's no way. No way I could kick a 40-yarder.
You could give it a shot.
I would give it a shot. I could probably at least get it up in the air.
Hey, they'll sign you.
Yeah. Hey, I'll do it. They don't really have to give me a whole lot and give me season tickets or something. But yeah, so that makes me nervous. Being Wednesday, we're not sure. Maybe Boz will come back and be okay.
Yeah.
But
we'll cross our fingers.
Yeah. I don't know. And then you got Barry. And as we said, 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, and I want to say...
he shanked one last year against him.
That's what I was going to say, is the last time we played the Bills, he flipping sucked. That was like one of his worst punts of the years. I think that's what got him freaking fired.
It was like 18 yards or something.
It was horrendous.
It was a horrible shank.
It's literally worse than Pee Wee football.
I can see him doing that again.
I mean, if
especially with the weather conditions.
Would he have a little bit of a pass then, though? You're going to say no.
Everybody else can say yes, but I'm saying no.
I would give him a slight pass with 20-mile-per-hour winds and a rock-hard football.
Listen, if he averages 43 yards a punt, I'll give him at least a B in my overall grading.
Should we write that down? Just so we're all clear.
Yeah, I might.
Because you're going to change that.
Because if he booms a 70-yarder and then shanks a 10-yarder, you better believe I'll probably change that. No, people can hold me to that word on that.
All right,
I won't be happy about it.
All right, fair. Hey, maybe this is the one Ray breaks out.
That'd be great, as long as he catches the ball.
Yeah, and catches and holds on to it.
I don't know if I trust him.
I know he's in.
It's getting nervous.
Yeah, it's like he started off so high, and then he muffed that one.
Muffed the one, bobbled the other.
Ever since it's been downhill.
So it's something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he needs to get out of his own head there.
Yeah.
But other than I hope Boz can return, because we don't really trust Matthew Wright, and we don't have anybody behind Matthew Wright.
Nope, Steelers didn't sign anybody to the practice squad, and with COVID and that, you can't just sign them and play them the next day. You gotta wait at least 5 days. So makes me feel great.
We're all in on Matthew Wright.
Maybe try out our rookie punter. Maybe he can kick the ball further than like 40 yards.
Yeah, that can't be hard to beat, right?
Do you think they'd let us do a drop kick? I'd feel more comfortable with that.
Sure.
I don't know what
Ben can do that. We've seen Ben do that.
Yeah, we have.
Punt it. Well, this should be a good matchup. As long as Steelers come to play, this should be a good game on Sunday night.
Yes.
Although we have to hear from Chris Flippin Collinsworth.
Woohoo!
Almost our favorite announcer.
There's so many bad announcers, though.
There is. There's a serious problem with the announcers.
Tony Romo used to be okay. He's horrible. Chris Collinsworth is still the worst one there is, although he did give the Steelers kudos the last time, which I couldn't believe.
Do you remember Gus Johnson? The guy, oh, man, he would, like, just scream and, like, flip out. Like, he was just the most fun announcer. You got to look him up, man.
Jonathan Vilma's horrible.
Jonathan Vilma's trash.
Honestly, I think the most enjoyable one I had, and a lot of people had issues with him, was that Kevin Burkhardt.
Was that on Fox?
That was the Monday night 5 o'clock game that you and I watched.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. Him and the other guy, I don't know who they were. They were probably just college guys, but I don't know. They literally, I was saying the stuff, and then they'd repeat it on the TV.
They would.
So I think that's why I liked them.
So
they
I
were
think you're
listening
saying
to
you can do their job.
I could.
Well, you got anything else to add to this game preview?
No, not for offense, defense, or special teams. I guess what's your bold prediction?
I think I went offense last week, so I'll go defense this week. And I will go a bold one. I'm going to say that we get 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery.
Be a great turnaround from last week of no
turnovers.
So
I agree. What do you got?
I'm going to go defense as well, because my offensive bold predictions haven't been... I think there was one I was close with Chase. That was probably it for the year for me. This one people may not consider as bold, but we haven't allowed a 300-yard passer all year. Alex Smith came close. Came to, I think it was 294 or 296 yards. So he was real
darn
close. But we still haven't allowed a 300-yard passer. Josh Allen could be that guy, but I'm going to say we hold him under 300 yards.
That is a good one.
So ultimately, because of that, I have my score being 21-20.
21-20.
Stillers.
Tight one.
Tight.
Down the road.
Heart attack.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't come.
Aged me by about 20 years.
I hope it doesn't come down to a Matthew Wright field goal. If that's what you're banking on.
Nope. Not at all.
I hope not. I'm going to go 24-17 Steelers. Not as close, which is probably wrong because all Steelers games are heart attacks. I'm going to give them a touchdown difference there and a touchdown lead. I think this is going to be a great game, though, man. Like I said, it should be as long as we bring our A game. So,
yes. Bring your A game, please.
And fire Fiechner. Oh.
Yes, for the 100th time. Please get that trending.
All right, so I think that's about it. Everybody, listening on the podcast, thanks for listening on the podcast. Everybody joining us on YouTube, thanks for joining in there and watching us. Make sure to definitely get that hashtag going for Fire Fiechner and comment down below your scores and your predictions for the game. So until next time, go Steelers.
Go Steelers.
Yeah.